going? Welcome back to my channel. So I just recently organized our pantry and I'm feeling really good about it. When we moved in here about a month ago, I just sort of threw stuff in there, and so it was really in need of being organized. I put things in their proper spots. But what I thought I would do as I was going through my pantry was share with you some of my pantry staples, the foods that I am, always grabbing and reaching for in my pantry, and just what I generally always keep stocked up. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't yet subscribed, you can do so below with the red subscribe button. Click that. That way you'll be notified anytime I upload a new video. If you are new here, my name is Megan. I'm a certified holistic nutritionist, and I share weekly content on healthy and also simple living. So if you are interested in those things, then definitely subscribe. I'd love to have you here. And if you're not new, of course, always happy to have you here. So let's dive in. Number one, pantry staple number one is or are chia seeds. So, I have a variety of nuts and seeds that I do like to have stocked up in my kitchen and that, which actually I'll get to in a moment. But chia seeds are really an honorable mention because I am always reaching for my chia seeds. I add them to my smoothies almost all the time. I love making chia jam with chia seeds and chia puddings. I have a delicious and super easy 2-ingredient chia jam recipe over on my blog. I'll leave that linked below. But I just find that I use chia seeds a lot. They are a wonderful source of omega-3 fatty acids, plenty of fiber as well, and they're just kind of versatile. My next pantry staple here is a classic, and that is olive oil. This one here is by Terra Delissa. This is their olive oil. I don't know what I was going to say there, but this is olive oil that I use often. Olive oil is my number one top choice for being just my day-to-day cooking oil. You can definitely use olive oil for cooking. Now, you never want to use heat too high. You never want to burn your oil, so if things start smoking, you don't want that to happen, but definitely a good cooking oil. However, I also love olive oil for, what do I love it for? Salad dressings. I absolutely love it for salad dressings. I use it a lot for that. Next, I have here some apple cider vinegar. This is raw, unfiltered, unpasteurized apple cider vinegar with the mother. The mother is actually what you'll find often, kind of the sediment at the bottom of jars of apple cider vinegar that are raw and unpasteurized, and that's responsible for kind of that fermentation, that probiotic properties to the apple cider vinegar. So always good to, when you're buying apple cider vinegar, look for ones that have the mother. This is actually a brand new bottle, just so nice and fresh, brand new. Hasn't been opened yet. I use this, of course, for salad dressings quite a bit, and it's just definitely a staple. Next are mixed nuts, just a variety of mixed nuts. So this is actually Sean's favorite thing ever. For years, this has always been what he likes to have stocked up in the pantry, but I mean, I love it too. He always gets like these huge tubs of them for like Christmas and things like that because he likes them so much. And this is just, like, you can probably get this at Costco, I'm pretty sure. This is the Kirkland brand, but it's just unsalted, plain mixed nuts. These are so good for reaching when you want a quick snack. Fantastic for snacking, great for making your own homemade trail mix. I often like to mix these kind of nuts with some either chopped dark chocolate or some chocolate chips and some raisins, and they're just great for snacking on, great on the go. So always like to have these on hand. I do also have actually a few like separate individual jars of like almonds and pecans and things like that as well, but just having some mixed nuts I find is really handy. Next, I have here some coconut milk. So I love to have cans of coconut milk stocked up in my pantry. I'll usually have a few cans in there, and I love coconut milk for curries and things like that, if I'm doing like a curry or like a stir fry with coconut milk. But also I will sometimes use coconut milk in my smoothies, like as my milk of choice. It makes for a very rich, kind of just satiating smoothie, but also for my chia puddings. Love to use coconut milk, chia seeds, together for my chia puddings. Then of course I'll, add fruit in there too. Next, I have some canned beans. So I like to have a variety of beans on hand. Sometimes I'll have a bean medley. I've got some black beans often on hand, navy beans. These are chickpeas, which I particularly love because I love to make chickpea salad. Beans are great in general for topping on salads and that, but they're also great for adding to soups and stews and things like that as well. Super high fiber, great source of plant-based protein as well. Next up, I've got some oats, a big old jar of oats. Oats, I mean, pretty versatile, I would say. Also just a really good pantry staple for oatmeal and your porridges and things like that. So, makes for a really quick and easy breakfast. But you know what else I love oats for? Making like a berry crumble or an apple crumble. You can pretty easily whip that up if you've got some like frozen fruit on hand, or even if you got some apples. Mix some oats with a little bit of flour, and you could do coconut oil or some butter, a little bit of maple syrup, some cinnamon in there. I just, love doing it for, baking. You can also take your oats, you can blitz them up in your blender to make a flour, which opens up all kinds of, opportunities for baking as well. Next up, this is a pretty beloved possession of mine, and that is maple syrup. I don't think I could ever fully explain how much I love maple syrup. As you can see, I have like a giant jar of it. I have gotten this for like a Christmas gift the past couple of years because my in-laws know how much I love maple syrup. So anyway, this is just a pure maple syrup, and it seems like a lot. It is a lot of maple syrup, but I actually use it for anything that I am sweetening, anything I am baking. Even sometimes if I'm making salad dressings, I'll put a little bit of maple syrup in there just to balance out the flavors. Maple syrup is really my sweetener of choice. I just love it so much. It's just so good. This is Ontario Grade A Amber. If you're curious, the one that I have. Oh, it says refrigerate after opening. Oh, I've never ever refrigerated this. Well, I guess I'll do that. Okay, cacao powder. This one's next. Another beloved pantry staple of mine. This is your kind of raw, most purest form of cocoa. So you might be thinking, oh, is having cocoa powder really a pantry staple? Is it something that you would really make use of all that often? And let me tell you, yes. I quite like to bake, and I like sometimes to be able to make like a chocolatey thing, a chocolatey muffin or brownie thing if I'm in the mood for it. But I also love a good chocolate banana smoothie. So good. And honestly, you would think maybe you wouldn't go through this too often, but I really do. Just having this in my pantry is just makes life all the better. Cacao is a great source of magnesium, if you didn't know that. Magnesium is a very important mineral that's great for our heart and muscle relaxation and all kinds of things. Next up, we are moving on to some crackers. So these are just some plain kind of salted rice, thin rice crackers. And I would say that, we often will switch up the type of cracker that we have in the pantry. We always have at least some kind of cracker, but whether it's a seeded cracker or another type of cracker, even rice cakes are quite nice, puffed rice cakes. But these are a pretty good classic one that we like. Sean really likes these ones. They're just thin rice crackers. Really good for dipping with hummus, for putting some cheese on top, or if you have some like mixed charcuterie meats and things, just good for all kinds of things. Next up, I have rice. I have a big old bag of this that I actually just recently bought and stocked up on. This is some whole grain brown rice. I mean, rice is absolutely a staple for sure for me, using it as a side dish or with stir fries or curries, things like that. I find rice is just wonderful to just always have on hand. It's always good to have a good starch that you have on hand that could pair well with meals so that you have a very balanced meal, right? Having a good complex carbohydrates, some fat, some protein, your veggies, all that. So rice just makes for a really good addition to your meals. Also, I find I quite like adding it to some of my soups or stews because it helps to kind of thicken them up a little bit as well. We are zipping through this. Yes, we are. Next up, I'm just gonna pair these together, but that is a jar of tomato sauce and some tomato paste as well. We definitely like to do some type of pasta once a week, I would say, but when I'm doing spaghetti in particular, always have a little can of tomato paste and then, a jar of spaghetti sauce. So I quite like this one. This is by President's Choice. It's just their marinara. I love to have a couple extra, like I'll often have a whole bunch of these little tomato pastes in my pantry and a few of these just to have, spaghetti and pastas and stuff make for a really pretty easy like dinner if you don't want to prepare something that's too time consuming. I just feel like these are just always really good to have on hand. To go along with the tomato sauce there, I also like to have pasta noodles on hand. Always have these on hand. So probably my personal favorite for sure, are these rice noodles. These are by Rhizopia. I just love, they're fusilli, by the way. I love fusilli noodles. Let me know in the comments below. Are you someone who really likes a spaghetti noodle or a fusilli noodle? Do you have a favorite type of noodle? Let me know, because I really love fusilli. It's my favorite shape to eat. Rice pasta, so it's for those of you who might be gluten-free. This one's good if you're gluten-free. But I also have here just some spaghetti. This is kamut spaghetti, and we really like this. So kamut is kind of known as being an ancient grain, and this is like a good whole grain kamut spaghetti noodle. So this one's not gluten-free, but it is really tasty and just makes for a good spaghetti noodle. Obviously, pasta noodles are good for making your pastas, but also pasta salad is really good too, especially in the summer. It's pretty easy to put together a pasta salad. You just cook some of those up, add some olive oil, some apple cider vinegar, some herbs if you want to, salt and pepper, and some fresh veggies. Super, super good. Alrighty, I just got a couple left here. Next is some canned tuna. Honestly, having some good canned items stocked up is really, really handy. Particularly canned tuna though, or even like a canned salmon or something like that is good for doing easy peasy tuna sandwiches, tuna salads. Even adding this to a pasta salad would be easy to do, but yes, love to have some canned tuna on hand. Really convenient and good source of protein as well. So it makes for a good addition to an easy but filling lunch. Second last one I have here is some bouillon cubes. Bouillon cubes, organic bouillon cubes. This is by the brand Go Bio, and I make use of these quite often because I will add them to if I'm making a soup or a stew, but also sometimes I will make this really yummy chicken breast dish where I'll cook up chicken breast in the oven with some like water, but then I'll put in a bouillon cube in there, and it kind of makes this like herb gravy sort of sauce, and I do that with these. Alrighty, and lastly, I have here a carton of oat milk, or sometimes I'll have an extra carton of almond milk, things like that. So I find this is just really handy when maybe you've run out of milk and you just want to be able to grab one from the cupboard. I personally don't buy cow's milk, so I often will have nut milks or other non-dairy milks on hand, including the coconut milk. Canned coconut milk comes in handy as well, but I love this oat milk. This is by Earth's Own, and it's their unsweetened, just original oat milk. It has a like naturally sweet taste to it, but it's just so good. I love it in tea, like an English breakfast or an orange pekoe tea. It's so good. Alrighty, so that is it for today's video. All of my pantry staples, 16 of them anyway. Obviously I do have a bunch of other things in my pantry, but these are definitely ones that I love to have, that I always have stocked up, and that I use a lot. If you want to learn more about stocking a healthy kitchen, as well as meal planning and really stocking your kitchen with items that you're going to make use of through the week, through meal planning and building a balanced meal, those kinds of things as well, you can check out my meal planning mini course. I will leave that linked below, because we talk about all kinds of things like this, plus so much more about how you can make kind of healthy eating a consistent, easier habit for yourself. Let me know some of your pantry staples that you always have in your pantry, that you're always reaching for day to day. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.